the left has literally entered the nut house as they attempt to skew this Jimmy Kimmel story and being taken off the air into something that they can use politically, something that's not a liability, but something that's advantageous. For the past 24 hours, Democrats and the media have been claiming that Jimmy Kimmel never said Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson was actually MAGA. That's the claim they've been making. It is some of the most ridiculous propagandizing we have ever seen. Here is CNN. And remember, these are not the opinion people in the evening. These are just the news guys.
I want to get some context here because Jimmy Kimmel, in that monologue, that late night monologue, he was making a point about supposed right-wing finger pointing at the left. He was not suggesting that Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old suspect, was MAGA. He was not necessarily making that suggestion.
Kimmel appeared to be making a point about alleged finger pointing by the right wing toward the left in the wake of Kirk's assassination. What he said did not appear to suggest that the suspect was a MAGA shooter.
Really? Really? We can all see this video. I hope they realize that. There's absolutely no other way to interpret what Kimmel said. There's no way to interpret it as they did. I've watched this Kimmel clip 20 times. It's very simple. It's a concise claim that he makes. He doesn't go on to color it 30 seconds later, and we're not showing you that. He makes it all in this one little moment. There's no outside context you need to consider. And to prove that, here we will show it to you once again. There is nothing edited about this whatsoever. Listen with your own ears.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who killed Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. That's it. That's all it is. There's no other way to think about that. Jimmy Kimmel, with every bit of evidence to the contrary at that moment, telling his audience the killer was MAGA. He sounded like Keith Olbermann or some wacko on your Twitter feed. And on top of that, it wasn't even a joke. There was no joke to it. It didn't go on after that, as I said. It was just, that was it. This was a serious claim where Jimmy Kimmel took the immense credibility that ABC has with its own audience and used it to try and brainwash them over something that they'll never buy as a way to protect the left from a story that has tremendous liability, the kind of story that will hurt Democrats politically very bad, because Democrats seem, or at least the hard left seems very violent in this moment. Rolling Stone doing the same, saying Kimmel did not actually say on ABC that the alleged killer was a MAGA member, as the right would have you believe. This is Twilight Zone. This is 1984. This is really nasty stuff. And today there were protests outside ABC demanding that Kimmel get back on the air. Screams of fascism from the crazy people with signs who always show up when something like this happens. Sherry Redstone, been around a long time, just sold off CBS after firing Stephen Colbert. Here's her take on it.
What I would say about Jimmy Kimmel, and one thing I want to say is, people have made the comparison with Stephen Colbert. So I know that for us it was made a business decision, not because of Trump or because of any other reasons, but I do think we all need to be thoughtful of the content we're putting on air, given the division that exists in this country. And that's not a direct reflection on Kimmel. That's just a much broader reflection on the world we're living in and the responsibility we have to be thoughtful about what content we put on here.
Yeah. CBS had turned hard left, was anti-Semitic. It was a disaster. So you got to start cleaning it out. That's what she did. That's why she sold it to Ellison. Responsibility. Thoughtful about what you put on the air, she said. You can't let fringe conspiracy theorists host late-night comedy shows on networks. You just can't do it. And turn it into a therapy session for unhinged TDS lefties like Jimmy Kimmel. It is a horrible business model. The Hollywood Reporter revealing advertisers were blowing up the phones, terrified of being affiliated with that show hosted by a loon after a claim like that was made. And remember, we showed you last night, Jimmy's made a lot of crazy claims like that. He has gone off the deep end in recent years. He's like Olbermann now. They've gone nuts. Affiliates were revolting as well. So advertisers are calling. Affiliates are revolting as well. Nexstar and Sinclair have like 500 stations between them nationwide. That's a lot of TV stations. That's a lot of local affiliates. They are heavy hitters. And the affiliates sick of being affiliated with Jimmy Kimmel. That's the story. And an arrogant Jimmy just wanted to double down. Quote from the Hollywood Reporter, Disney wanted Kimmel to address the situation in a way that would take down the temperature, but what Jimmy had planned was going to fan the flames with the MAGA fan base, the source says. He was going to double down and walk out there with a middle finger. So Disney, which, as you know, if you've been following politics in this country for the last 5 years, is one of the most insufferably woke and liberal companies in America, Disney pulled him off television. Do you really think Disney did that because Trump told them to? This isn't complicated. Add to that terrible ratings, Kimmel in third place among these three late shows, down 43% before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Only 129,000 viewers in the coveted 25 to 54 demo. That is so embarrassing for a monster like ABC. And with all of that evidence, here was Stephen Colbert last night.
Tonight, we are all Jimmy Kimmel. I still have a show, though, right? Okay, good. Yesterday, after threats from Trump's FCC chair, ABC yanked Kimmel off the air indefinitely. That is blatant censorship, but with an autocrat, you cannot give an inch.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.